I played with the Wilson 100 Ultra CV a couple of times. On the first time I wasn't particularly impressed. It seemed to do everything quite well. It didn't do anything poorly, but I just didn't see it as an advanced player's racket, more a decent racket for an intermediate. But the second time that I played with it, it really grew on me, and I ended up liking it a lot. If you are looking for a racket around the 300 gram mark that leans a little bit towards control, then the Wilson Ultra 100 is a brilliant racket. It just does everything well. It doesn't lean towards any particular trait, but it blends power, control, spin, everything that you need. It has a good amount of it, and not too much, not too little. On the forehand side in particular, I got along really well with this racket. It's not what I'd usually expect for a racket that's 300 grams, but just the way it gives you a little bit of control compared to some of those lighter rackets really worked out for me, and I barely missed a ball off the forehand side with this racket. I actually got to play a little bit of doubles with the Ultra as well, and it does do well at the net. You've got to really attack your volleys with it, but that pretty much goes for any racket. It's got good stability, and I played really well at the net with it. It's not my traditional volleying racket. It's a little bit lighter than what I'd go for, but it does do a very good job at the net, and it goes along with the racket's all-round profile. On the serve, the racket's nice and light and maneuverable, so you've got the opportunity to create some good racket head speed, but it also gives you the stability on contact that means you can go after your placement, and you're not going to lose any control with this racket. I think the Wilson Ultra 100 CV makes for a brilliant racket for anyone who's an all-round type player and who's looking for a racket around that 300 gram mark. It's got good swing weight, and it is a racket that advanced players can play with, although at the beginning I didn't really notice that. I think also being a racket that's just 300 grams, it can make for a very good racket for a junior. It's not going to put too much wear and tear on the body, and you do get a lot of the traits of a much heavier racket with it. Overall, I was a little bit harsh on my write-up with this racket because I did get a chance to play with it a little bit more after, and I really did like the racket, and it was something that if I was looking to switch I'd consider. It's possibly just a touch light for me, but I would really like to try the slightly heavier version of this racket and see what that one's like.